Hello! Honda is an absolutely fantastic maker of lawnmowers. We all know that. It's been that way for a long time. They're very popular, they're renowned, they're reliable, and they're good at cutting grass. They're also good at making front-wheel drive sports cars as well. Not as many people know that. And today we're going to take one on the tollgate and talk about it. So here we are. I thought we could take this great car to Bathurst for two reasons. The first one is that this track has a lot of grass on it, which means the Honda is going to feel right at home. The second one is this track has got a really technical section at the top of the mountain, and I want to really demonstrate the way that this car handles through that section. So first, what we'll do is we'll take it on a little drive. We'll talk a bit about the way that it handles, and then afterwards we'll try and set a quick lap. So I just want to start by saying that I've been lucky enough to drive the previous generation Type R in real life, back to back with a Hyundai i30N Performance, and they're two cars that are often compared to each other quite a lot. I can see how if you're buying one, you might also consider the other, but the two cars were really nothing alike. The Hyundai was set up to be fun. It was very raucous, very leery, and it felt like, it was fast, but ultimately it'd be a lot of fun on a track day or a twisted road, and that was what it was designed for, first and foremost. Driving the Honda though, the difference was it was night and day really. The Honda felt like it was designed not for a track day, but for a race. It was bizarrely a very smooth car to drive, much smoother than the Hyundai was. And you could show the two cars undulations in the roads, and the Hyundai would react in a way that you'd be expecting a firmly sprung car to react in. However, the Honda wouldn't. The Honda would just sort of flatten out most of the bumps, and it would only communicate the ones to you that it felt like were going to be an issue. And whoever has made this Assetto Corsa mod, which I'll show you what it looks like on the outside as well in this video. Whoever has made this Assetto Corsa mod has done a really good job of sort of conveying the way that these cars handle to it, because driving this it feels just like the one that I was able to drive in real life did. This particular one here, this is a new generation of Type R, known as the FL5. It retains quite a lot of the features, and I believe the platform as well. I could be wrong in that, but the platform of the old car. However, it's got a much nicer interior. Obviously there's going to be some performance differences there, but you can see the dashboard there, it's got lots of aluminium pieces on it and things like that. However, the way the car feels to me is very similar to the old car. The interior itself is actually a nice place to be, from what I understand as well with these new cars. If you look here, you can see that it's got the same seats that the old car did. I don't know if they're exactly the same, but they're red and they're still that same sort of fabric material. The old car, the seats in it were absolutely fantastic. They used to be really supportive, and do that thing that a good car seat does, and that's make contact with your body everywhere, so that you feel really well sort of embedded into the seat, and it takes most of the weight off the spine. In terms of how the car handles, it's incredible really. I mentioned the suspension there, in terms of how it sort of flattens out most of the bumps. However, there's another sort of really trick thing that the suspension in this car does that I've never seen any other front-wheel drive car do, and that's if I trail brake just here, so I just dabbed the brakes a little bit going through a fast corner, it didn't upset the car. Usually in a front-wheel drive car, we would expect the back. I've came off from the same place as I did last lap there. We'd expect the back end to sort of start moving around a little bit if you don't brake in a fully straight line. That doesn't seem to happen with the Honda Civic Type R in my experience. Instead, it's so well sorted that the front wheels are just followed directly by the back. It doesn't move around too much, which is it creates a feeling of immense confidence, but for the driver of the car, which means that you really do feel okay about stretching this car's legs properly. The other, I would say, major feature of the way that this car drives is the front differential. This car's got a lot of power. The new one, I believe, has about 330 horsepower. It needs to be able to put that down, especially, that's quite difficult if you're doing it all through the front wheels. And somehow this car is able to do that effortlessly. The front differential makes it almost feel like an all-wheel drive car rather than a front-wheel drive car. You don't do that thing that you do in other sort of high-powered front-wheel drive cars, like a Golf GTI, for example. If we talk about that, I've driven one of those as well, and that's very much a car that you steer on the throttle. And an even more exaggerated case might be the old generation Ford Focus ST, which I've also got experience with, and that car was an extreme sort of exaggeration of what you think a front-wheel drive car would handle, like going around any sort of corner. You could easily spin up the front wheels by just popping down the throttle a little bit, loading them up with some torque, and use that to sort of adjust how you get through the corner. However, in the Honda Civic Type R, what you use to sort of get you through the corner is instead steering input. And it's only ever sort of all-wheel drive cars that I've found that with before, where you're really going quite fast, and you turn the wheel in a little bit, and the car will tuck its nose in through that rather than through doing it on the throttle. So it's a bizarre sort of way that it handles, because like I say, there's no other front-wheel drive car out there that can do it. There's something about the way that Honda engineers have built that car that lets it do it. So, I am going to continue practicing for a moment now, and then I will go on to do a fast lap. Currently I'm a third lap ever on this track in this car, but we'll see if when I get round to the start-finish line, if I can pop in a quick time and give you an idea of just how quick this car really is around here. So here we are, coming up to the start-finish line at Bathurst, Mount Panorama in the Honda Civic Type R FL5, the latest generation. And I'm going to try and judge my braking point with this corner, because I've got no idea of really what the references are for this track for braking, but I think we've done an okay job there. Up this back straight, I'm going to keep to the left-hand side because it's a right-hand corner at the very top. Using all of this car's 330 brake horsepower to try and get as much speed as I can, and try not carry too much speed through this corner, because if we do, we'll go wide and we'll hit the concrete wall. It's a very unforgiving track that way. A bit wide through there, but the car's trick front differential saved me, and a really difficult trail braking section coming up here where we are almost flat through that corner there, and we don't want to carry too little speed through the corner that I've just went through, because you've got this long uphill section here. It's a critical corner in the track, and it's also one you see a lot of crashes on. Through some negative G there, the car's not faced by it at all. Such a well sorted chassis. Trying to use again all the track. Don't want to hit the wall on the right hand side. Really easy to do that there. And I also don't want to go wide here too, because there is a runoff area that's really sticky. Steep downhill section now, big weight transfer in the car as it all goes towards the front, and if the car was ever going to get upset, it was going to happen there, and it didn't. It was great. See, all of this car's handling attributes all add up to a car that is exceedingly easy to drive. I really must say, it gives you so much confidence and enables you to go so fast and really feel like, at least, you're extracting all of the available performance on tap. Really high speed section here, coming downhill over a little crest. This used to be a completely straight line to the very last corner, however they added this section here, which is really quite a lot of fun. High speed, flat through that right hand kink there, down to third gear. Trying to look through the corner, but it's a little bit blind, and that's, I think, the reason why they added this section to the track, is to try and slow the pace of the cars, because there's this concrete wall here at the bottom, and you don't want to go flying into that, it'll kill you. Could have carried a little bit more speed through there, but overall that's at 2 minutes 34 seconds, 0.582. So I'll leave a link to this car in the description of this video. Do have a go if you have one of these sim racing setups. Beating that lap time yourself, you'll find this car is just such a pleasure to drive. And this car is also on the Tokyo Union Discord servers as well. So if you get a chance, hop into those, because it's a lot of fun to race people online in arguably much faster cars in this car. Thanks very much for watching this video. I'll have another one coming up probably at some point next week. Bye for now.